I was not the best kid in high school with grades and all that. I applied to all the film schools, got denied from all of them. And then all of a sudden my dad comes to me like the day before decision day in high school and was like, there's a school called Santa Barbara City College. All you have to do is sign up here and you're accepted. And I look at the website, it's just this beautiful campus on the beach and like people are playing volleyball and I'm just like, there is no way in hell that this is a college in Southern California where you can just sign up and you're in. But there was, so shout out Santa Barbara City College, baby.
Welcome back to the Creative Hills podcast, everybody. Today we got our guest for today. My guy came out here all the way from Santa Barbara. He said he's trying to put Santa Barbara on the map. So today we got Matty Caples.
How y'all doing? Good to be here today.
Hey, man, you said, I thought you were from Santa Barbara originally, and then you just threw me with the curveball of, damn, I'm really from New York.
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm New York born and raised. I was born in Long Island, New York, in a town called Bayshore, and lived there my whole life. Forever thankful to be in that town. I mean, close to New York City, close to the beaches. Not a bad place to live, you know?
And so you ended up in Santa Barbara specifically because of college, right?
Yeah, I went to school at Santa Barbara City College. I studied film production at first, and then I switched my majors around a little bit, but stayed in the arts, of course. So I did photography, graphic design, multimedia, did everything that college had to offer pretty much.
So you did a few things. Did you end up graduating? You stayed the whole time?
I got my certificate, so I guess I did. I don't want to say I dropped out because I have a piece of paper that says I got something from there, but I did. I kind of did.
Kind of did. No, yeah, but before that, like, originally, what made you go to Santa Barbara? Like, out of every school you could have gone to, like, you were just like, all right, Santa Barbara, I'm there.
So pretty much, like, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to. My dream school was USC. Their film school, obviously, biggest film school in the world. That was my dream school. I was not the best kid in high school with grades and all that. I mean, I was not a good student, but I applied to all the film schools and all that. Got denied from all of them, every single California school. So it was like the universe was trying to push me to not come here. But and then I ended up getting a full ride to two film schools in Chicago, DePaul and Columbia. And I visited the campuses, and for some reason, I just I had to come to California. Something was telling me I had to come out here and do the lifestyle out here first. And this was back in like 2016. And then all of a sudden, my dad comes to me like the day before decision day in high school and was like, there's a school called Santa Barbara City College. All you have to do is sign up here and you're accepted. And I look at the website, it's just this beautiful campus on the beach and like people are playing volleyball. And I'm just like, there is no way in hell that this is a college in Southern California where you can just sign up and you're in. But there was, so shout out Santa Barbara City College, baby. Go there if you need some education by the beach.
And in that moment, like, was it complete culture change? Like, had you been hit to LA before? Had you been to Santa Barbara at all before? Like,
no, like,
did you even visit like before moving here, or what, did you like start and you were in Santa Barbara?
Yeah,
the same
like
day?
I've been to like California like once or twice beforehand, and that was like LA. Like I did the whole like tourist shit, like Venice Beach, like Hollywood Walk of Fame. But then like the third time around, I came to Santa Barbara, and like, boom. That atmosphere, like, just, I knew it was meant to be.
Dang, and have you been back to New York since?
Yeah, I go back to New York often. I go back, I come to California and New York every, like, 2 months, pretty much. I'm about to go back to New York for a couple months, maybe, I think, like, a month. I'm not sure yet, but I like to split time between both coasts.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, a...
What are some negatives that you don't like about each place? I feel like everyone talks about the positives, but no one talks about like the sucky things.
Yeah, the sucky things. Okay, well, the negative things about, California is that, like, I guess like there's a culture shift between the food. I mean, they're both good places for food, but you know me, I've grown up in New York. I've grown up on the bagels and the pizza and like all the that stuff, and like I'm so used to that. And like being out here, like you go find a bagel that's like way overpriced, and I'm just like, shit. But it's hard to really say because like you know, both places I hold dear to my heart, so it's hard for me to like pinpoint like what's negative, but
Dang, when you first got here, was In-N-Out the hype that everybody made it seem?
honestly, yeah, because like in my first like month of college, I did like the absolute most with like all like my like neighbors and all that. Like one thing we did was like I moved into this apartment complex called Beach City. We didn't have dorms because it was a community college. So like literally they just stuffed all these like first and second years into this apartment complex and let us party hard.
Damn.
And like luckily my neighbors and my roommates, we all bunched together and we started this little vlog series called Wave Nation. And for like 2 months straight, we would travel all across the coast of California and like do all this adventuring. Like one weekend we went to San Luis Obispo and then we went to Malibu and like I forgot where else we went, but like we went to a bunch of adventurous stuff and that was really fun.
Were you always the guy behind the camera?
Always. I mean, I've been making videos since I was like honestly like 3 years old. And it's been like
How'd you get into it?
I think it's like, it's kind of like, it's hard for me to describe when I knew I wanted to make videos, but I just remember one day my dad like gave me his old VHS camera and was like, here you go. And then all of a sudden, before I knew it, I fell in love. And, you know, I loved making the videos. Like elementary school, I was making videos with my friends. And then middle school, I was making the action videos with like the guns and all that because I was big in like 2012. And then I just kept progressing and trying new things and became this.
Honestly, that's dope that you really found it at a young age. Like I consider myself lucky. Like I remember, and I started off late. Like my biggest thing that I'm really into is like I love a lot of different things. I love film. I love different things. I like conversations. But my biggest thing that I've always been a fan of is music. And weirdly enough, I started that pretty late in my life. Like I feel like I really got into it maybe like when I was like 12, 11, 10, somewhere in my teen years. And even then I felt blessed of like, damn, like I got on this shit early. By the time I graduated high school, I was already like, I don't want to fucking be a stockbroker. I don't want to fucking go to college for some random ass bullshit degree. And I was like, fuck that shit. And you're even before that, you're way ahead of the curve. And it's just like one of those things where I hope more people, like I know the majority of people don't really find what they're looking for early on. For you, like, what do you think allowed that? Do you think you had like a supportive parents around you that were just like, yo, like try whatever the fuck you want? Do you like this? Do you not like that? Because I think a lot of times it starts at a young age for those reasons, or like you have someone pushing you towards doing something.
Yeah, it's for me. I had very supportive parents growing up with all of this, as well as like friends and acquaintances and all that. Like I always had like a good supportive network when it came to all that. I think for me, it was mostly just like a lot of trial and error. I was very curious of like what I can accomplish through every piece of content, whether it was a photo or a video. I always wanted to expand the horizons and like really try something new, whether it was something when I was doing when I was little or something as what I'm doing right now with the videos. I'm always striving for like the next like thing I can accomplish. Like as soon as like I post a video, it's like, oh, out now. Like literally 10 minutes later, I'm like, all right, it's on to the next one.
On to the next one. Yeah, and that's how you have to be. You have to just create as many pieces as you can, because at the end of the day, you can spend your whole life on one little piece, but a lot of times you never know what's gonna be well received. Like I feel like there's, especially like knowing a lot of people doing anything, video, music, whatever. Like there's so many pieces of content where you spend like so many hours on one thing, and you're like, this is it, and it like completely flops. Nobody really pays attention to it, and then you post something you made in like an hour, and then everybody's like, oh shit, that's fucking fire.
Exactly. Like, you know, social media is like, you know, it's tough for us creators. It's really tough. Like the algorithm is very tough on all of us, but I learned to just like, it's just an algorithm. Just keep posting. One of them is bound to do well. And most importantly, you got to like just keep networking. Like for me, at least, I'm always out there like trying to connect with new people. Like don't be afraid to reach out and DM them and be like, hey, let's work on something. Let's do this. Like you just never know. Like you're one DM away from your whole life being changed forever.
That's facts, bro. Facts. Would you consider yourself a California native at this point?
That's a toss up, honestly, because I'm a New York native at heart and I am a New Yorker, but I am very thankful to call California my second home. So I'll keep that in mind always, and it'll always be my second home for real. But as a New Yorker, I have to respectfully always show love there. So that's how I would see it. But
dang, as far as like the culture and everything, like where, honestly, in your opinion, where is most of the talent at? Who wins in talent?
Oh, talent. It's pretty equal because all in all, honestly, like majority of the people that I've met like through like my whole industry and the scene, all that came from Santa Barbara. Even the New York people.
For you, who are like some of the people that inspire you to make videos, or who are you watching where you were like, I'm a fan of, and I want to be better than you?
For me, I wouldn't say I want to be better than you, but I want to work with you in the future, like in that sense. But my biggest inspiration right now is Gibson Hazard. He is by far probably the greatest like videographer in the game right now.
He's crazy. I remember watching him like he would do recaps for tours for like G-Eazy or Kyle like early on. Now he did he did like dope ass videos with Drake, and I was like, oh shit, like going from like one artist to like up there, it's like, oh shit, crazy.
I've been following him since like 2017. I actually did. He was the first guy to ever like put me on to a concert as a videographer. So Gibson, if you're watching this, much love to you, dog. Shout outs to you. Hope we can work together in the future. But like, yeah, he's my biggest inspiration because of that. Like, he got me involved with like those visions and all that, and that's what inspired me to keep going that point on.
Where do you think you got your current like look from when it comes to your videos and what they look like? Because it's so like abstract, and it's definitely a different editing style than what you see in most videographers' work nowadays.
It's very unique. Honestly, like it took many years of like trying like new ideas to really get to where I needed to be. But I think right now I found like a solid like mood board that like everyone can see and be like, oh, like Matty did that. I think like it was mostly just trial and error, and just like I knew that like it's like you can have like the best camera in the world, but it's all about the edit in the end.
True. That's facts. At the end of the day, your equipment doesn't make something dope automatically off the jump. And it's really the creator that, for anything, like the creator's the one that makes the magic happen. And for you, where do you see yourself taking it? I know you were telling me about like wanting to do different things within video. Like right now, what's the focus on?
Yeah, so right now my main focus is to get more involved in the cannabis industry. Right now I'm working with a few brands out in California. One of them is a dispensary in Santa Barbara that I've been working with for 2 years now. And that niche is very, very unique. It's very fun. I have a lot of creative freedom. I've been put in a lot of new opportunities of being in that industry. And, I smoke weed. So it all works out.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm sorry, Mom, I smoke weed. But, like, yeah, like, it's one of those, like, I don't know. I just kind of fell into it one day, and it just kind of kept going with it.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Switching it up with the new angle,
You know the vibes.
You know the vibes. But for you, right now, what's your focus on, bro? Like, what do you want to change about everything? Or how do you want to disrupt the video game?
There's a lot of ways I'm trying to go about it, and it's hard for me to describe every single detail of what I want to do. But I made a commitment to myself back in October, right around the time where my last lease in Santa Barbara was ending, and I had to go home for the rest of 2020. And I was like, you know what? Like, I could be doing these videos, but like, what am I aiming towards? So I decided to really just step to the plate and open up a production company. And I didn't do it like on the spot. Like, I decided to do a 2-month prep of like everything, like make sure I had clients that were down to like be a part of it, and like made sure I had the right, portfolio for the right clients. And the whole like video release of like the announcement took like a week for me to like set up and promote. And that was what I was striving for, to release it like the first week of 2021. And on January 8th, 2021, my life changed. I opened up my From Downtown media company, and it's been doing well since. And it's giving me a lot of more like hope that like, more things come about of what I want to accomplish this year.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Honestly, like I really admire your style of video, changing it, taking the time to be like, all right, I'm gonna change this. Or there wasn't necessarily like a reference of like what your videos look like. I can't really think of anyone where I look at someone's video and I'm like, all right, I know who he got inspired from for that piece to the puzzle. And for you, like I'm sure like a lot of people will get inspired or from watching your videos and all that. I know you said you used to vlog back in the day. For you, when it comes to video, like, do you ever feel weird about, I guess since you've been behind the camera, you probably don't, but is there ever moments where you're like, damn, I wish I could be in front of the camera? Or is that where you go to your homie and you're like, hey, bro, here, get me in the shot?
I mean, like, when I'm in Santa Barbara, like a good amount of my time spent there, like filming, was at parties. I would film a lot of party videos. And a lot of the time I was filming like my friends, like blacked out, hammered. And like, of course I was hammered too. And like, but like they would always be like, you get in the shots. And like, I'm never prepared, because like, I'm just never prepared. I'm just prepared to get the shots and like make the movie good. But then like, as time went on, I started to really step to the plate, and I was like, you know what, like, there's a reason why I'm here. Like, I'm the camera guy. Like, maybe I should get some camera time. So I started to dress up. I would literally pull up to the parties in like a blazer and a tux and all that shit, and I would film it. And I don't know. I started really, as of like, I think like 2020, I would start to be more featured in videos more. But like, I'm never prepared. I'm never prepared for any of them. I never put those clips in. Like,
for you, was there ever like that weird thought in your head of like, were you always comfortable in front of the camera? Or are you still working on that? Like, because most people I know behind the camera, including myself, I used to do photography for a long time, or even like little vlogs, and it was always like POV. I never really adapted to me being in the video, and then eventually I started doing more myself and getting more comfortable. But it took a while, especially like I know most people behind the camera, they're not comfortable, they're not used to it.
Yeah, like what I've really learned is like you just gotta like have that confidence of like doing the best of both worlds. Even if I do slip up in the video, I'm still gonna like keep going. Like, I think it's just, you just got to keep on rolling, and just, if you keep on trying, eventually, like, you're going to pick up the pace, and eventually you're going to be, like, at a level where you'll be in front of the camera and being like, what's up, YouTube? Swipe up, like, all that shit.
Can you see yourself being a YouTuber?
Nah.
Daily vlogs?
Honestly, people have been telling me, like, you got to start posting daily vlogs and, like, get in front of the camera more. And I'm like, I don't want to like be considered as like that. Like, I never pictured really myself being in front of the camera and like doing all that. I'm more of the guy where it's like I just stay like low key. I never even talk in like majority of like my content. Like, I don't think people really know my voice until right now, but I don't know.
Yeah, I find that interesting as well. Like, very few people make it a point for them to be known. For you, do you care at all for you as a person to be known compared to your work? I know people feel differently. For example, I remember, or one of my friends, he actually used to co-host with me back in Vegas, and he's a videographer. He's a dope videographer. And now if you look at his page, he posts a lot of pictures of himself. He tries to make it known so that you put a face to that person or the work to a person of like whoever knows him. His name's Tony Camara, and whoever likes his work, they know that that's him. And every time they see him in person, they're like, oh, that's him. Compared to like most creatives or most photographers and videographers, you meet them for the first day and they're like, oh, I didn't know you look like this, or hey.
Yeah, like I definitely would like to be in front of the camera for pictures for sure, more than videos. I love taking pictures of myself. I mean, the Tinder's got to look good, you know that. But yeah, like I definitely think that I fall in that category of like I want like the face, like so people be like, they see my face and like, oh, like you're Matt Caples, you're the photographer, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, so I could see myself in that.
For you, what are like some of the movies that stand out to you in your life where you're like, yo, that movie was fire?
All right, there are two movies that come to mind that really resonate with my current state of creativity. One of them is Whiplash. I watched that when I was a senior in high school, and it really shaped me into like really taking criticism and really like shaping into like the mental toughness.
That's the one about the drummer, right?
The drummer, and like you know, he pushes him to the limit and like abuses him and all that shit. But go watch the movie. But you know, that like really resonated with me because the story plot really aligns with like the mental toughness of like creativity and like trying to build the barriers of being the best of yourself. And then the second movie is Project X. I'll never forget this. It was Halloween 2012. Hurricane Sandy hit Long Island, and we were out of school for a week because like everything was flooded. We had a generator, and luckily we had Wi-Fi, and like I had Project X like somehow on my laptop, so I watched it. And I was like a freshman in high school at the time. I never drank alcohol. I never done any of that. But watching that like was like, holy shit.
This is what I'm missing out on.
This is like, is this where I'm gonna be in a couple years, like senior year, like? Yeah. And I remember like someone in Santa Barbara told me once that like, I remind them of the main character, and I like am the one to throw like the biggest party and like Project X style.
So I'm guessing you're a big fan of parties.
I mean, I've been filming parties for almost 4 years now. That's where I really started. Really, how like a lot of my videos picked up.
Yeah, really. And I think that's awesome because then everybody wants to see themselves in the video. Everyone at parties, usually everyone's like always trying to grab the attention of the camera guy. They're always like, "Hey, come take video of this," and you just see so many different wild reactions.
Yeah, I was able to get into that at the right time because my junior year of college, I started this. I guess you would call it a vlog series, but at the same time, it's like a 60-second like thing on Instagram called Thursdays at Beach. And at that complex I was telling you about earlier, every Thursday night at my friend's house, we would throw like parties. Like imagine like a room the size of this, but like 200 people in there. And,
nice, yeah.
And I'd be the camera guy, and then we had like 14. It's packed. Yeah. It's packed.
It's packed. Yeah.
14 episodes, and I gained like a good amount of followers from that. And that's what really builds my career and all. Hell yeah.
For you, your content, at what point do you decide like, all right, let me delete this or let me archive this. Let me completely wipe this off the internet.
Yeah, I go through an archive spree like once a week. Like I go through my entire like feed of everything and I analyze like, all right, like is this still like something I want to like show to the world, or do I want to like leave it? And I do that every so often. It comes and goes, but I do that often because like my content just still progresses, and I don't want like the old stuff getting involved with the new stuff.
If you could use one word to name your art, what would you use?
Complex.
Complex.
Because you will never know what to expect from me, honestly. One day you might get a love story type video. The next you might get a raging party video.
I love that, man. For you, how long does it usually take to make a video?
It varies, honestly. Like there was once where I edited like It usually varies on the video, but on average, I'd say like an hour and a half per 60-second video, which is like, honestly, I don't know like average numbers. That's
What's the most annoying part of editing video?
creative blocks. Creative blocks for sure, because I know like naturally I can get the edit going and like get it done A to B and all that, but there's always creative blocks with obviously every creative. Like you just sit there, you can't get an idea going, and I get that a lot. But the best way is to just find time, find creative outlooks somewhere else, all that good stuff.
What inspires you, bro?
What really inspires me is that, I've always dreamed of having this life. I'll never forget like being in my room like 10 years old, like making little videos on my camera by myself, like with like fucking Legos and shit. And like, I told myself, I was like, you know what, like this could be like, this is your dream. Like every time like there was like a school project, like an about me project, and it was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It was always movie maker, film director. Like it never changed. It was never like, I never played sports. I did theater. I played tuba in high school. Like I'm very involved with the arts, but I've always had a passion for videos, and that has opened more doors for me than anything else, and puts food on the table, and most importantly, it makes people smile. Like I've changed. I feel like my goal is to change people's lives. That's something I hope to do one day with these videos.
Nice. Right now, or at the moment, you're living in Santa Barbara, and I remember you told me that you want to put Santa Barbara on the map. You want to?
Yes, sir.
Because honestly, whenever I think of Santa Barbara, or to be completely honest, I think the typical person living in LA doesn't really think about Santa Barbara.
Nobody does.
So it's like there's maybe a few creatives out there for you. Like, do you see that movement getting bigger?
I believe so. I think with LA like becoming like more and more populated, it's leaving more room for Santa Barbara to like attract more people. There's a lot I can say about Santa Barbara, like about the scene, but obviously it's a short podcast. But overall, I think it's an incredible place to live and really network and experience life, especially in your 20s. Can't complain about it at all.
For you, if there was one place you had to plug or one activity to do in Santa Barbara, what would you recommend? For anyone watching, they got one day in Santa Barbara. What should they do?
You got one day in Santa Barbara. If you're under 21, go spend your Friday night on Del Playa Drive. That's what I would say. Because Del Playa Drive is a very famous street in Santa Barbara. It's or Isla Vista, I should say. That's like, it's a waterfront street where like beach houses, like waterfront with like backyards, and that's where we throw the parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Party place.
So oceanfront parties, like that's where like the Santa Barbara parties get their hype.
For you, how do the parties in LA compare to Santa Barbara?
I have to be quite honest. I can't give that comparison because I've only been to maybe like a handful of LA parties. I've experienced like a couple of like obviously like the influencer ones, the mansion parties, the USC frat row, but I haven't gotten like the full send LA experience. So I can't give a general consensus, but I do prefer Santa Barbara because like, I don't know. It's just like, it's hard to really say. I don't know. Like, I just like to party.
I feel like there's probably a lot less egos over there and like
less egos. Like, I'm trying my best not to like say anything negative. Like, I'm not trying to be a negative person on this podcast. Peace and love always. But
for you, what do you think were some of like the biggest obstacles within your whole journey or this whole, just life, video wise, whatever?
Life's going to hit you with setbacks and you will not expect it. Life can change in a millisecond. Like, I've learned that. That's something I had to tell myself this year. Like, anything in life can change just like that. You have to be prepared for the bumps in the road. You have to be prepared for the worst case scenarios, but you also have to be prepared for the uncertain. And in order to get where you need to be, you have to be really uncomfortable and take those risks that might put you in a bad situation, but it could really put you in a great situation.
True. A lot of times life's a risk. You gotta risk it to get the biscuit.
Exactly, man. You got those risks. Some of my biggest risks in life have been like the biggest like gifts in life.
But what makes you uncomfortable?
What makes me uncomfortable? Last minute planning. I'll never forget this. This is where like that kind of thing comes in. So this past weekend, I was like where was I? I was at a bar in downtown Santa Barbara, and I get a text from a friend, and he was like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just, chilling at the bar. What about you?" And he was like, "Come to the mountains." And keep in mind, like, the mountains are like 45 minutes away from where I was. And I was like, "Why? What's going on up there?" Sends me a picture, and it's a festival. Like a dead ass a festival in the mountains. And I'm just like, and it was already like midnight. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going. So I called an Uber and I go to the mountains. And it was very uncomfortable because it was just like, I had to go. I thought I was going to go home.
Yeah.
But I ended up going there, and it was the greatest night of my life.
Yeah. Honestly, I can relate to that a lot in the sense that there's so many times where I'm either tired, I'm like falling asleep, and then somebody hits me up last minute. They're like, "Hey, come here, come do that." Or even I remember there's been days where like certain people, I knew they were gonna be in LA, and I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like people. I remember one of my friends from the UK. Daniel got hits actually. He's dope. He's from the UK, and he just happened to be in LA one week, and I was just like, damn, we can link now. Either I take a 4.5 hour drive, go meet this person that I've admired since forever, or like I can just stay at home and do absolutely nothing. And then it's just like one of those things where like a lot of people aren't willing to take that risk or take an opportunity whenever in any shape or form. It's like if you know like someone shooting a movie and you want to, like, say for any creative, if you know someone's shooting a movie and this shoot is happening at some place and you're like, oh, if there's a 1% chance I can meet this person or I can talk to this person that will change my life, go do that shit. Like, don't let those opportunities pass by, because those are the ones like that are going to be the most rewarding at the end of the day.
Exactly.
One piece of advice for anyone watching, anyone that wants to make video, create film, what would you give them?
You really just never got to stop. Just keep on creating, keep being uncomfortable. Your first video might not be the best, but I can guarantee you by the 100th one, you'll be the best there is. So if you just keep on going, trust the process. It's a bumpy road. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have some of the greatest days ever. That's what life's all about. And especially as a creative, sometimes we get the short end of the stick. I mean, it's a tough world out there, but you just got to keep your head up and keep on rolling and surround yourself with the right people that really make you happy the most. And I promise it'll be good in the end.
Yeah, I agree to that, man. For everybody watching, where can they go follow you, bro?
Go follow me on my Instagram at matt.caples, and you can follow my production company page at FromDT on Instagram. And yeah.
Any last words you want to say to everybody?
Much love to everyone in the world that's been watching me. If you know me before, thank you for tuning in. And if you're just tuning in now, I hope I see you watching my videos in the near future. Much love.
Much love, everybody. Take care. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel to watch a bunch of interviews from a bunch of dope creatives on the way, all right? Enjoy.
Peace out.